Mean anything?
So if he doesn't know the difference between right from wrong when it comes to murder, then he has to be held in solitary confinement or he'll do this again. So when you say we shouldn't punish him and we shouldn't put him to death, well, the only alternative then is to put him in solitary confinement, which is a fate worse than death, in my opinion.
Can I respond to that? He shouldn't be punished in any of those ways whatsoever, right? Here's what my opinion should be with this guy, okay? This guy needs to be taught, he needs the special care. He needs to be put in, like, in, whatever, an institution or whatever, that deals with mentally retarded or deals with people who are insane. He needs to be...
But he could kill people there. He doesn't know the difference between right from wrong.
Well, then he'll be like, whatever they call it, criminally insane or whatever they call it. He should be in a place where there's 24-hour care, where there's actually going to be people who are going to work with him and teach him these things slowly, and give him the care that he needs, that he was denied when he was growing up, as it should have been given when he was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Now's the time. He should be put in one of these institutions, and they should teach him right from wrong, murder's wrong, and teach him all these things. He needs to go to that.
How strongly do you identify with Levi Aron?
What do you mean? Like, do I see myself in him?
Yeah.
Not at all. Because I'm not mentally retarded and I'm not a shaita like that. You know what I'm saying? That's got nothing to do with it.
But you've also been rejected by the frum community and regarded as a good son-in-law, prospective son-in-law, and you're low earner and a little bit slow. And
no one's ever said I was a little bit slow. And the truth about the low what is it, low earner?
Yeah.
I've been on the top of that. I was a high earner before too, so I've been on both ends of that. But no, the thing about being on the margins, it's not just that. It's just like everybody who's not on the margins. Like someone who's a convert is way off in the margins, right? Anybody who grows up child abuse and doesn't want to have kids, you're in the margins. So you don't have to be, let's say, mentally disturbed to end up in the margin. You just have to be different than the mainstream. So in that regard, I share that in common with them, but that's not what I'm in this for. I'm in this for because I see a tremendous perversion of justice, if you will. I see that the mentality, at least on the internet, from what I'm seeing across the board from Jews, is they've got a lynch mob mentality, and they're justifying it, rationalizing it 100 million different ways, but it doesn't make any difference. It all goes against Judaism. And it goes against American law. Judaism says we give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Right now, here's what we have. We have a guy who pleaded not guilty. He pleaded not guilty. We're going to have a trial. We're going to find out. Let's find out if he's insane or not. But until then, we give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Innocent until proven guilty. That means until proven guilty. Even when it's not convenient, even when everything looks a certain way, it doesn't matter. You got to give people benefit of the doubt. That's what Torah is all about. That's what Judaism is all about. I give benefit of the doubt until all the facts are in. We don't have all the facts in. I give benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to sit there and start, warming up the electric chair for a guy. I don't have all the facts. Right now, I can make a case for this guy that he's innocent. So let's keep everything focused. Torah says we err on the side of benefit of the doubt. You have to prove that the guy is not. It's not my onus. Is that the word? It's not my onus to prove that the guy is insane. That's the onus is prove that he's not. Prove that he's guilty. Prove that he's not mentally retarded. You can do that, fine. I have no problem with that. Until then, we must give benefit of the doubt, even when it's not convenient to do so. Go ahead.
How many people with frozen body parts in their freezer are innocent?
How many of them are nuts?
No, how many of them are innocent?
Innocent in this case means nuts.
What do you have in your freezer? Tell me honestly and tell me right now. If I was to open up your freezer right now, what would I find in there? Because you've suffered the same way that Levi Aron has, except you didn't get that year of marital bliss with his beloved spouse. Well, what kind of woman is she that she married this guy? I mean, she must be a real find.
Oh, you want to know who she is? You want to know where she is right now? She's in prison.
Yeah, what did she do?
Mail fraud.
That's M-A-I-L, fraud, not M-A-L-E.
Yeah. No, I was like a little inconvenient fact that they had to mention, like, oh, by the way, we had to go interview her in prison. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, when they went, that was like 20 years ago. You remember that case?
Right.
This is the guy who used to kill people and then he ate the victims, right?
Right.
He was a cannibal. And they went to his mother's house and they found a foot in his shoe. It's like, I hate that, you know, like you want to put on a shoe and there's somebody's foot in it, you know, it's like, ugh. You gotta remember to take your foot out of the shoe.
So how much are you prepared to spend a year on this guy's upkeep? Like considering that you could give it to like righteous people in need instead and simply fry him.
Why would you fry someone that the Torah says not to fry? Why would you even think like that?
Torah says if they have a mentality of someone under 10, this guy clearly has the mental capabilities of someone above 10.
That's in your opinion. You don't think he's crazy?
No.
You don't think he's at all crazy?
No, I think he's a little bit nuts, but I think he's totally responsible for what he did.
Okay, so
if he can drive and hold down a job, and if he can be married, and you know he's in the community, he probably goes to shul at times, then he's old enough to hold down a job. You're old enough to know that murder is wrong and to go to the chair.
So everything I just laid out to you in that in my explanation, it just went in one ear and out the other.
No, I heard it, and I was much of it was interesting because I didn't know, you know, I didn't know these halachas, and I still just don't see him as someone with a mentality under 10. I mean, D-Medic is taking issue with me, and you know, D-Medic has really struggled in his life. Like D-Medic has like been ostracized by his community, and he didn't receive the help that he needed, and like D-Medic was married for a year but never had sex with his wife until she finally complained about it to the rabbi and forced him to get a divorce. And so D-Medic, what's that short story of Mice and Men? You know, by John Steinbeck, or you probably don't read short stories, but D-Medic understands.
I'm illiterate. I have the brain of a small child. You go ahead.
So yeah, I think I'm ready. I can't believe that you dedicated this show to that murderer, Levi Aron.
You convicted him. Who says he's a murderer?
Because he had his guy's feet in his fridge.
So that'll be one.
And he confessed to smothering him.
Okay, wait a second. One thing at a time. The feet in the fridge and the confession letter, correct?
Yeah.
Are merely pieces of evidence that will be presented in a trial in a court of law. Until that time, he has the presumption of innocence. He pled innocent. You can find millions of feet in his house, and they're just...
That's legally, that's not morally. I understand that he needs a legal trial. I'm talking morally. The guy's obviously a murderer.
Wait a second. A confession letter is nothing more than an article of evidence that's presented in trial, if there is a trial, and a confession letter written by someone who is not of sound mind is not worth the paper on which it was written. If this guy is completely bonkers, or he's like a small kid, doesn't understand what a confession letter is, it's worthless. I don't care.
If he's bonkers and he doesn't know that murder is wrong, I say that's an even stronger argument for putting him to death, because the guy is a threat.
Okay, you know what,
The guy's a threat. He could go and he'll likely do this again.
Okay, Levi, that's fine. That in Leviism, that's fine, right? We're not following Leviism. We are following American law and Torah law, which both disagree with you.
I want him to get an American trial. I'm not saying don't put him on trial, but I'm not innocent until proven guilty as a legal concept for the courtroom. That's fine. I'm not in the courtroom. I'm speaking as a moral and intelligent human being, weighing up the evidence and handing down my opinion judiciously. This is why women get so hot for me. It's because of this like sharp, razor-edged mind. They're just hearing this, and like a lot of women going, oh, Leviism, that's the world where I want to live in. Leviism, that's where things are so sparkly and the